What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, this is gonna be a little Q&A, get ready with me. I brought out a bunch of new makeup that I haven't really touched so that I could show you guys some new stuff while we go along and just chit chat. Very chill, get ready with me, answering a bunch of your questions that I got from you guys on Instagram. If you want to check out how I got this look right here, which I truly am in love with how this look turned out. You never know when you try new makeup, you know what I mean? It could be really hit or miss, but I'm very happy with how this look turned out. So if you wanna see how I got this look, then keep on watching. All right, let's jump into it. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do for makeup today, but I did take a bunch of stuff, like new stuff out to show you guys so that I'm not showing you the same stuff every week, which I feel like can happen sometimes because it's just like, I'm not trying out a new foundation every day. I mean, sometimes it feels like I am, but anyway, we're starting with the Algenist Moisture Veil. This guy, I have recently been using this. It's definitely more of, I don't know, I've kind of been using it as a primer, but I think technically it could be like a serum under a moisturizer, or I already moisturize and I'm just kind of using it as a primer just to give an extra bit of hydration. And look at the glow that that gives you guys. It's like a less intense and no shade version of the Hollywood Flawless filter, if that makes sense. And it's also obviously skincare. So I just love kind of letting that get tacky, letting that sit on the skin. And I think I'm gonna go in with my Rare Beauty primer just to fill my pores and fine lines. Anyway, so let's jump into the Q&A. I'm gonna try and tell you guys what I'm using, but if I tend to forget, I will list and link everything below for you. So I asked a bunch of questions over on my Instagram, and all the questions are kind of like all over the place about life, beauty, relationships, career, kind of everything, pregnancy. So we're gonna jump into all of that good stuff. First one, advice to get over a heartbreak. Just ended my 6-year toxic relationship. Whew, girl, good for you. Let's start there. Good for you. That must not have been easy. That's a long relationship. But the fact that you knew that it was toxic and you needed to end it, and you actually did it, commend yourself, pat yourself on the back. But I also understand that like that's still really hard to deal with because you're like getting over someone, and that's heartbreak. Even though you made the decision, that's still really, really hard. And if it was toxic, listen, I just think pat yourself on the back for getting rid of that toxicity in your life. I bet you feel like there is a weight lifted off your even though you're upset and sad, and it's gonna take time to kind of heal from losing that person. I just think, you obviously trusted your gut and went with what you felt like was the right thing to do. I feel like it's really important when you're going through something like that to like live in those feelings and let yourself feel those feelings. I feel like sometimes it's like, oh, we should just move on to the next or like distract ourselves and we'll get through it. And it's like, I think it's really important to just like realize what you're going through and give yourself a minute to go through that. You know what I mean? So just like, if you want to just like feel those feelings and be sad, like do that. I don't want you to like sit around and be sad for a long time, but like, I just think it's important to feel all the things you're feeling and recognize those things. There's all those stages of grief, right? The next stage is like, get out there, put yourself out there. But like, I really think the most important thing is just to focus on yourself. And I am a firm believer that like what's meant to be will be, and the right person is gonna come into your life at the right time when you're ready. And I just think you're gonna need some time to just be on your own and like put yourself first and don't do anything for anybody else, and like be as selfish as you possibly can, because once you get into a relationship, you can't be selfish anymore. You're constantly thinking about the other person. And I just think it's important to like be you, figure out who you are, go through all of that on your own. And then like I said, when the time is right, that person is gonna come into your life that's the right person for you. I am a firm believer of that. Good for you, girl. This one says, my baby girl is 6 weeks old. Any and all advice. Motherhood is amazing. Oh, motherhood advice. I don't know if I'm equipped for that yet. It is truly the hardest thing I've ever done, like by a mile. It's one of those things that like, it's so hard to explain. Like I'm such a perfectionist, and obviously it's impossible to be a perfect mom. I can be really hard on myself if like, I feel like I did something wrong or handled a situation the wrong way. I really don't know if I have motherhood advice. I just think I'm too new, but I will say, just recognizing what you're doing and recognizing that it is so effing hard and that we are amazing for doing it. And also piece of advice that I got that always sticks with me is like, a lot of people are gonna have opinions on what you do and how you do it and how you raise your kid, but you are the best mom for your child. You know in your gut what the right thing is to do, even though like there's no way to prepare for this and there's really no way of knowing, right? Because like, especially as a new mom, you're like, I'm constantly like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Is this gonna help him? And there's no way of knowing, but then I remind myself like, I do know. It's so instinctual. Like, I am the best mom for him. Everything that I can do for him is the best thing for him specifically. And it's the same thing for your baby. Like, your baby needs you and like, you are the best mom for your baby. I feel like that's like the best and really only piece of advice I can give because it's still so new and it is so effing hard. It is so hard. I mean, it's the most amazing thing I've ever done by a mile also, but by far the hardest, by far. We're gonna use DIBS per usual. Let's move on to the next question. Those were 2 advicey questions. Let's take it back. Let's take it down a notch, you know? I'm not trying to be preachy over here. Next one, when to use a brush or a sponge for foundation. So personally, I just think a sponge is gonna give you much more of an airbrushed, flawless application. I also feel like while a sponge does soak up a bit of product, I find that a brush soaks up more. So you kind of need to use more. Using your finger is definitely the best way to like get the most bang for your buck in terms of product because it's really just gonna move the product around. But I think every time I use a sponge, my makeup ends up looking better. Everything melts easier. I also think I have a heavy hand when it comes to makeup. So the sponge is my friend because it picks up a lot of excess product that would normally stay on the face or get like moved around by a brush. So I actually am gonna take back what I said. A sponge definitely sucks up more product than a brush. But I just think a brush, it can be harder to get that like more like flawless airbrush application with a brush. I just think a sponge is your best friend. This is the Thrive Cosmetics sponge and I've been using this forever. I like all the sponges, but this one's really, really good. The Real Technique sponge is awesome. Obviously the Standard Beauty Blender is awesome. I think a scenario in which you would use a brush over a sponge, I think it also just depends on your skin. Sometimes a brush for me is just faster also. Like if I'm just like, I have 5 minutes, I'm usually picking up a brush because I'm not wetting a sponge, you know, wringing it out of the sink and making it like, you know, this nice damp sponge. I'm usually just grabbing my brush and I'm using the brush to put on my foundation, concealer, blush, bronzer, all of that. So that's normally when I use a brush. But when I'm just looking for a really nice, as flawless as possible makeup application, as you can see, I use my sponge for everything. I hope that answered your question. What was one thing that you didn't know about labor/delivery till it happened to you? I feel like I knew everything that could possibly happen, right? Like I knew like I might have to get a C-section, which I did. I knew I wanted the epidural. I guess this might not be the best answer, but this is true. I didn't know what the contractions were gonna feel like. Like I didn't really think about, okay, here we go. I didn't really think about what the contractions were gonna feel like before I got the epidural. So like I was trying to put off the epidural as long as possible because obviously once you get that, you can't walk around, you can't eat anything. So if you're in labor for a long time and you got the epidural, also it can wear off. There's a lot of stuff. I didn't consider how much pain I was gonna be in before the epidural. And the fact that like I was gonna have to ride the wave of those contractions with nothing. And women who give birth, no drugs, I don't understand you. You're unbelievable to me. Like truly, I don't understand you. Like I don't get how you guys did that. Amazing, you're amazing. I mean, even if you gave birth with drugs, which I did, you're also amazing, obviously. But I just, yeah, that was one thing that I guess, it's not that I didn't, I mean, there's no way of knowing, right? If you've never been in labor, there's no way of knowing what it's gonna feel like. And I think it feels differently to everybody. Also, everybody has like different levels of pain tolerance, but I guess I just didn't really consider what that was gonna be like. I mean, I was terrified before labor. I cried the whole way down to get induced. I was so scared. I think that's completely normal. It was like being scared of the unknown because there's no way to prepare and there's no way you can know what to expect. And everyone's birth and delivery is different, so that's one thing. We'll leave it at that. Let's not get all crazy about labor and delivery. If you want to hear my birth story, I have that on my channel. Ethan and I go through the entire day or days of what it was. If you're pregnant, I feel like I recommend not watching videos like that when you're pregnant because there's really no reason to stress yourself out. And like, there's no reason for you to hear about my experience and think that might be your experience, because odds are it's not gonna be anything like my experience. You're gonna have a totally different experience. So what do you do for burnout from work? What do you do to reset? Burnout is so real. Honestly, this is one of those things that I struggled with a lot when I was working my 9-to-5 job. I used to work in marketing. If you guys didn't know, I worked at a PR agency for like 5 or 6 years before I left and pursued my content creation career full time. And burnout was something that was very prevalent at my agency. And I think a lot of agencies, marketing agencies, I'm sure every different industry, burnout is real. But once I started doing something that I loved, that I am so passionate about, that I genuinely enjoy, like you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but like I genuinely enjoy doing this like to my core. It is a passion of mine, like beauty, makeup, sharing that with you guys, connecting with you guys, filming, all of it. Like I just love all of it. I don't feel like yes, I can definitely overwork myself, but I don't feel like burnout is really prevalent to me right now at the stage of my career, because I just enjoy this so much. Like I could do it till all hours of the day. Sometimes I need to stop myself because I'm working too much. I think you just have to, I think if you find your passion, you're not gonna burn out because you just love doing it every single day. But like I said, I can get to a place where I overwork myself, and I think it's really important to disconnect and do like social media cleanses or whatever the word is, where you don't go on it for an extended period of time. I think that's really important. And that is a really good way to reset, is to just sometimes I will feel uninspired. So that could be like a form of burnout. And when that happens, I do find that taking a step back, taking days away from going on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of that really helps me. Because what I find myself doing, and I know other people go through this and have experienced this, I constantly, when I'm on Instagram, I'm not really consuming content the way I think other people do. If you're not in this content creation space, I consume content. What I'm always thinking in the back of my mind is, oh my God, that content is amazing. I need to do, I'm comparing myself, and I'm like, oh, I want to do something like that. And I'm constantly thinking about work, and I'm like, oh, I'm just like, oh, they're doing so much, I'm not doing enough. I never feel like I'm doing enough. I think that's just my brain and the line of work that I'm in. But so in order to not be comparing myself and not thinking those types of thoughts where it's like, I'm not doing enough, they're doing so much, their feed looks amazing, their content's so cool and creative and different, instead of being like, mine's not good enough, I just am like, okay, that's my cue to just get off social media. Stop looking at it. You're gonna get re-inspired once you just start living your life, not for the content. And I think that that's probably the best thing I can do for myself in those moments. Wondering about hair extension recommendations in Boston. Okay, so I don't have extensions, but I've wanted them forever. I wanna go to my girl Alessandra at Spoken Wheel to get hair extensions. I've wanted to do it forever. They're just so pricey that I'm like, I can't really justify it, especially because I do feel like my hair has grown really healthy with all the products I've been using lately. But my hair is thin, and there's really just nothing you can do to get the look that I'm thinking of that I would want in my head without getting extensions. So I might bite the bullet and do it one day. I know Alessandra could do it. She's amazing, but I don't have them, so I can't really recommend. Oh, I will pop another girl's name up on the screen as well. My friend Brittany goes to her and has gotten extensions through her and has really liked them in Boston. How is your breastfeeding journey? My supply can't keep up with my baby, so I'm supplementing. Any advice? My breastfeeding journey has come to an end, at least for now, until the next kid. If we are blessed with another child, I will likely breastfeed them again. So the journey is over, which I'm honestly really excited about. I feel so much more like myself and independent. I did enjoy breastfeeding, I really did. There was a time where I was like, this is amazing that I can do this for him. And I was very lucky to not have an issue with supply. If anything, I had an oversupply, and it was incredible. But the journey is over. The time is done. Just for me, it was just the right time for me to stop. I was just ready for a little more independence and to get back to feeling like myself, which I think is really important postpartum, to do things for you that are gonna make you feel like yourself, because everything is so different after you've had a baby. So I'm sorry your supply can't keep up. That sucks. I know that feeling too. I did go through that at one point where I was like, why am I not producing enough? And it was really kind of mentally messed with me. I don't know, it's hard. So supplementing is completely fine. Supplementing with formula is completely fine, and I honestly recommend it. So if you're having trouble with your baby taking the bottle, we did it as slowly as we possibly could. He did not want formula at all when we first started giving it to him. He only wanted breast milk, and now he is fully on formula bottles. So it can be done. Stick with it. We just did it slow and steady, like 4 ounces of breast milk, 1 ounce of formula, or even less. And then we just slowly eased more and more and more till he got onto full bottles. For bronzer, I use my Charlotte Tilbury, of course. I don't know if I used anything else. Like I said, I'll link everything below for you guys. Using my Hourglass palette. Also, everyone's been asking me about this brush. This is from Wander Beauty. It has a little angled fluffy on one side for bronzer, and then this is the blush side. I love it. I use it all the time. Favorite show currently that Ethan also likes. We have been binging Friday Night Lights, which is not really a guy show, but that is one of the many things I love about Ethan. He will watch shows with me that like I feel like some guys would not watch. Like when I used to watch Housewives, I haven't watched Housewives in so long. He wouldn't sit down and watch it with me, but he would like interact and totally get into it, and he loved it. So he might not be like the standard, but we just finished Ozark, which we both were obsessed with. It's definitely like a guy friendly show. We're gonna watch Euphoria. We got into that first season pretty quick, so we're gonna watch the second season as well. Guys, I forgot to use my new makeup that I had out. You know what? I'm just gonna use it on top. I'm just gonna go on top. This is from Pacifica. It's called the Fluffy Blushy. See? How cute. This is the shade Pink Haze. Let's just do a little. Woo. It's so hard to try new makeup and answer questions and talk to you guys at the same time. Do some on my eyelid too. Okay, so yeah, Ozark, Euphoria. We both really love Sopranos, but that's an old classic. Is that enough? I think that's enough. That's good. Okay. Well, anyway, I really liked these blushes from Pacifica. That is such a good shade for a blush. Oh, that's pretty. Best beginner eyeshadow palette. Honestly, I used to say the Tartelette ones, the Tartelette, whatever. Oh, I have an answer for that. Here's my answer. This one right here. Charlotte Luxury Palette. It has 4 shades. It's so easy for beginners. It has like a pinkish, purpley pink that's so pretty and like neutral. I think would look great on a lot of skin tones. Same with the brown. Such a good shade. Neutral, universal on so many skin tones. And then 2 shimmers, which is all you need as a beginner. And this is probably my most used palette of all time. So that's my answer to that. I'm gonna use my Charlotte eyeliner. This is new just in that I'm opening it up, but I've used this eyeliner many times before. This is the Rock and Coal in the shade Barbarella Brown. We love her. Watch how good this goes on. Must-haves for first-time moms. I did a video for all my newborn must-haves, and I think I'm going to do a video for must-haves for like infants. So now that Logan is almost 8 months, I have like a bunch of new favorites, and I want to share those with you guys too. Because as they get older, they just accumulate more and more and more. And there's definitely been some things that I've bought that I'm like, yeah, we didn't need that. And then there's also things that we've gotten recently that I'm like, oh yeah, we did need that. Or I love that, you know what I mean? So I will do a video for that, but if you have a newborn coming, your first time mom, I did all of that in that video that I'll link below for you guys. PP hair loss is brutal. Are you experiencing this? And if so, what are you using? Yeah, guys, I'm experiencing it. My hair is coming out in chunks. Look at my hairline, okay? And this is all just like short. I mean, this was hair before. This is just regrowth. So I'm using a liquid collagen in the mornings. It's from Modere. And then I am using the JVN scalp oil, which I really love because my scalp is super dry, and I definitely think that's also affecting my hair. And then other things I've heard of that I've heard are amazing. Wellbell is a everyday supplement. Vegamore is a serum. My best friend Jill uses that and she loves it. I was thinking about getting it for myself as well. And then there was one other. Oh, Nutrafol. It's a, I think, powder supplement that you put in like water or something. I haven't used that, but I've heard really good things. So those would be my things to start with if you're looking for something. But I do think my hair, like thick of my hair is doing actually really well, but it's so hard to know because I started taking the liquid collagen as soon as I noticed any type of thinning. So it's hard to know if it's actually helping, but like my hair still is coming out. But I do think the rest of my hair looks really good, and I would attribute that to those other products. Make sure you're using a good hair mask once a week. Don't overwash your hair. Don't overbrush your hair. Just kind of let it live and weather the storm. I know that's not great and super helpful, but there are definitely products you can use to help kind of combat it. But it is just something that I think most, like 90% of women go through this after they have a baby, which sucks. But just know you're not alone. We're in this together. We got this. Hairstylists and salons in New Hampshire, I can't help with that because I still go en masse to my girls at Spoken Wheel. So I'm sorry. I'm not ready to take the plunge and stay in New Hampshire for hair. I'm just not there. Do you still go see your girl in the North End for facials? I don't, which makes me so sad. I miss Jill so much. She's amazing. I will put her information below for you guys. She's so good. But no, I don't go to her anymore. I do go to Skin Tight Med Spa and get facials there. They are in Acton and Newton. Okay, look how good these are now that I'm like mixing these Thrive shades. This is the shade Rigi. The first shade was Nikki. So you just kind of like put them on. You could use this as an eyeliner too, and you just like use your fingers and blend them out. They're freaking gorgeous. Future mom, how do you keep your makeup from rubbing off on baby? Oh my God, you don't. There's no way. You don't wear makeup at the beginning. I didn't anyway. I barely put any makeup on at the beginning when he was a small little baby and we were really like cuddling and no, there's no way. I mean, you can get foundations and set your face and do things to like avoid transfer, but right now, I'm not really like shoving my face on him right now when I have makeup on. I usually only do that when my face is clean, so there's really no way to avoid that. I'm sorry. Hate to break it to ya. Been using the Lash Food Conditioning Lash Primer. I've also been using their serum for my lashes. It's only been like a few days, so I can't tell you guys much, but I do feel like this is helping condition my lashes and hopefully getting them to grow. How do you clean your makeup brushes and sponges? I use this bar of soap that I will tag, I'll link for you guys below, and I just run my brushes under warm water. I actually use hot water usually, and then I swirl my brushes on to the bar of soap and I rinse them off. And that's how I do it. And then when you dry them, you just wanna make sure they're hanging off a surface so that they don't like sit in the wetness. You just want there to be airflow that can flow through the bristles. So maybe I'll do that for you guys in the next couple weeks on a vlog. So watch the vlogs and I'll show you guys exactly how I do it. Is baby sleeping through the night yet? Ha ha ha. We have made progress. I don't mean to laugh at myself. We have made progress actually. So no, the answer is no. But last night we let him cry a little bit longer than we usually do. Like we didn't decide we were definitely gonna do cry it out, but we kind of are. The first time we did it, it was I mean, it's horrible every time, but he cried for about 30 minutes and then put himself back to sleep. And we were like, okay. And then he slept for a really long time after, which was incredible. And we were like, okay, this obviously works. We just have to like suffer through however long it's gonna take. Last night when we did it, he only cried for like 16 minutes. So I'm hoping tonight when we do it, it'll be like 5 minutes. And hopefully he will just start sleeping through the night because he'll learn how to like put himself back to sleep without like waking up and crying. So we're not there yet, but we're close. I feel like I see potential. Like I see we're gonna get there. We're so close. I think that's it for questions. I'm just gonna pop on the rest of this mascara. This is the Cali Ray mascara. Actually, they just launched in Sephora. I think that happened like this week or last week. So go check them out. I had prior just been linking straight to their website, but they just launched it to Sephora. So if you guys like shopping at, you know, a store like that instead, if you're a VIB or whatever, these products are there. Their glosses, all their products, but you guys know I love their glosses and their mascara. I use these every day. I do need to pop on a lip, so let me do that. I'm gonna use my DIBS because it's the best. I do quick. I use the lightest definer and then the lightest liner. I want to show you guys the vegan collagen plumping gloss from Pacifica because this is new to me and I like any and all plumping glosses. Pacifica is also a vegan clean brand. They sent me these vegan cruelty free. I love this brand. Super affordable products, but I figured let's try this plumping gloss together. Oh, it smells like vanilla cupcakes. I love that. I love a clear gloss. I love just like a lip liner with a clear gloss. Oh, she's tingling. Sometimes I like plumping glosses that actually tingle just because I feel like they're actually working. I kind of like to feel it. It's kind of like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, guys. My lips look plump. They look really good. Dang, I might like this more. I mean, it's a clear gloss, so I was gonna compare it to the Cali Ray glosses that I've been using because those are plumping too, but those are shades. I think they might have a clear one, but the ones I've been using, those are shades, so they're different. But this lip combo, woo, I'm into it. All right, we're done. Makeup's done anyway. I do need to do my hair. But we're gonna do that off camera. So that's it, guys. That's a wrap. I hope this little Q&A get ready with me was enjoyable for you. I'm thinking about doing these maybe once a month so that we can like keep checking in, and if there are like random questions that you guys have as you're watching vlogs or whatever, feel free to comment any questions below for me. I'll just start keeping a little like note on my phone of questions so that the next time I do a Q&A, I will go back and reference those. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, full product list with links below for you. I actually am obsessed with how this look turned out. I look way more tan than when we started, don't I? And this lip combo. Shook. All right, guys, I will see you in Sunday's vlog.